I don't think I'd ever want to live on an isolated island with just me and like one other person. But if Michael Fassbender were to offer to take me, I would definitely go. The Light Between Oceans is a romantic drama directed by Derek Cianfrance, starring Michael Fassbender, Alicia Vikander, and Rachel Weisz. It's about this World War I veteran named Tom, played by Michael Fassbender, and he lives on this isolated island with his wife, Isabel, played by Alicia Vikander, and he is a lighthouse keeper. They are desperately trying to start a family because Isabel really wants to be a mother and have a baby, but unfortunately she is unable to have one. Shortly after these baby complications, a small boat washes up onto the shore, and inside is a dead man and a baby who is alive. Isabel really wants to keep the baby and wants Tom to not tell anyone about the dead man or the baby washing up, saying that they could just tell everyone this baby is their own. However, Tom really does not want to do this because he's a moral man and does not think this is a good choice to make. But after talking with Isabel, they decide to go through with it. While this guilt is already tormenting Tom, several years later they end up meeting the mother of the baby, which starts some drama. The Light Between Oceans was honestly one of my more anticipated movies of the year because I absolutely love Michael Fassbender and Alicia Vikander. They are such a hot couple. Like, seriously, they would make beautiful babies. And also, Michael Fassbender is just... Whenever he was on the screen, I was like, I can't stop staring. This movie got some pretty mixed reviews, but honestly, I left the theater pretty happy with seeing it. The best thing about this movie is definitely the acting and the cinematography, because every single person in this movie delivers fantastic performances, particularly from the three main leads, Michael Fassbender, Alicia Vikander, and Rachel Weisz. All were superb. Seriously, throughout the last act of this movie, I was just constantly like sobbing and tearing up. I didn't even bother counting how many times I was starting to cry. Right when the movie ended, I was just crying and I left the theater sobbing and I was like, God, this is so embarrassing. I'm not quite sure yet if I think that Fassbender and Vikander should get Oscar nominations for their roles, because we still have a lot of movies that are going to be coming out soon that will probably take their place for Best Actor and Best Actress. But they were absolutely fantastic in this movie. Fassbender and Vikander obviously had fantastic chemistry, since this is the movie where they started their real-life relationship, and I think that's just awesome. I feel like Derek Cianfrance is just the Hollywood matchmaker, because first you have Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes getting together through The Place Beyond the Pines, and now you have Michael Fassbender and Alicia Vikander. Like, seriously, Derek Cianfrance, hook me up! I thought Cianfrance's direction was great throughout the movie, but I felt like there were too many uses of close-ups in the movie, because there were just countless times where I was like, man, that is a lot of close-ups. And I feel like close-ups should be used only so often in order to really make something, more dramatic and emphasized. But I guess maybe that was the point, because there was a lot of dramatic stuff going on, and he really wanted to, pinpoint an actor's emotions. However, aside from that small little nitpick, I thought the direction was really good. And this is such a gorgeous movie. Seriously, the cinematography is superb, and it's probably one of the best, if not the best looking movies I've seen so far this year. I definitely think this movie deserves a cinematography nomination. The soundtrack is also phenomenal. I remember watching the movie when I saw that the soundtrack was by Alexander Desplat. I got super excited because he is one of my favorite current composers right now for movies. I immediately went home, went to Spotify, and just added all of these songs from the soundtrack onto my playlists. Seriously, Alexander Desplat, if you don't know more of his work, seriously look him up. Aside from those things, I also found myself getting really emotionally invested with these characters and the story, and kind of more than I was expecting to, because I do think this movie has a bit of a pacing problem, and I think a lot of people will find it's way too slow. But despite it being on the kind of slow side, it didn't actually really bother me personally all that much, because I was just really getting into everything that was happening, wondering what is going to happen and how these characters are going to deal with all this stuff. It was just such a touching and moving story, and there's obviously a huge moral dilemma at the center of this plot, because even though Tom and Isabel are good people, they clearly made a bad decision, and that decision affects their entire lives throughout this movie. And I was able to sympathize with these characters even though they didn't make a good decision, and I think that helped me to get even more invested in the movie. However, some characters definitely made some stupid decisions where I was just like, dude, you could have handled that a lot better. But I guess that was kind of the point in order to like develop the plot and stuff. So other than the pacing problems and what I felt were too many close-ups, I also felt there were way too many additive dissolves being used in the editing department. I was kind of just like, was all of those really necessary? And I think the screenplay was overall good, but there could have been more work in order to kind of develop some things and just kind of make the pacing better. There's also a lot of letter scenes, which I guess you should be prepared for, because some people might be like, really? Another letter? But whatever. However, overall, I did have a good time with The Light Between Oceans, and it was a movie that kind of stuck with me in the end. I'm gonna give The Light Between Oceans a 7.5 out of 10, and see it in theaters because this is such a gorgeous movie with some gorgeous actors. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. If you enjoyed it, please let me know how you felt about it in the comments below, and tell me what you think about The Light Between Oceans. I didn't mention this earlier, but this is based off a book by M.L. Stedman, and I did read half of it, but I didn't finish it. And I noticed some differences, but not a whole lot since I didn't finish the book. So for those of you that read the book, if there are some major differences that you kind of were bothered by, then let me know in the comments. That's it for this video. If you'd like to see more of my reviews, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.